data. As we see a broader stagnation of markets across oil, S&P 500, Bitcoin and everything, war being looming across for a month now, and AI also taking over every sector. This week, we have brought you some news to say how decentralized systems are adapting to these changes and much more. Welcome back to Block Talk.
I will fire Gary.
The first cover-up that we have today is AI agents in crypto are advancing rapidly, but execution standards are still catching up. So ERC8211 introduces a dynamic execution model designed for real-world on-chain conditions. So why is the intelligence layer advancing faster than execution, and what does static batching actually mean?
Okay. So the problem, like the current issue with static batching in Ethereum is, if you take ERC4337, which is for account abstraction, and ERC5792, which is used for signing call data, every parameter is frozen like at the signing time. I will explain you like why does it matter, because for you to understand what is call data, it's like you give some instructions to the agent or to a transaction, and every parameter, every variable is being fixed. So what problem arises with this is DeFi is always dynamic in nature. Values don't stay constant at every time. So if an agent wants to do, let's say, a swap, for example, they want to sell one Ethereum for $2,000, and they have set the call data in same manner. But while executing, if Ethereum's price changes to $2,300, the agent will get $2,300 in its wallet. But in next step, it can only spend those $2,000 and $300 will remain stagnant in the wallet. So when you set every variable at the same time, you can't dynamically change according to what's the price is in the market at the current level while it's getting executed.
Okay.
So the only workaround for this before ERC8211 was deploying any smart contract which took care of everything. But it made the process much more complex. And that's why people are like, Biconomy has developed ERC8211 to solve these issues.
Okay. So how is the smart batch different from ERC4337, and what the resolution happened? Like where exactly this resolution happened?
Okay. So ERC8211 brings in 3 building blocks.
Okay.
Let me name them. One is fetchers, the other is constraints, the third is predicate entries. So what does fetcher do is, it's like an oracle. It will fetch you the live data, and in constraints you can set what should be the minimum value, what should be the maximum value. So instead of just mentioning a particular value, let's say for example, I need to sell $1783. Instead of that, agents can now say that sell 1 Ethereum. Whatever price you get in hand, you have to borrow or you have to lend them somewhere else. So you can just program. You can now program the values to match the current level, market levels.
Okay. So this is a cross-chain flow, right, from Ethereum to Base. So how do predicates handle this way?
Okay. So what is said about from Ethereum to Base is the looping example done by Biconomy team to show how ERC8211 works.
Okay.
As you can see on the screen, I will show you. You can just select how much USD, how much Ethereum you want to bridge to Base, swap to USDC and stake it. So here what happens is the agent will get updates on each and every move, and it can simulate will it occur successfully or not. And if the current, and what predicates do over here is, if current constraints are not met in the current dynamic market, the transactions won't happen. Instead of like previously, if it used to be there, either you get not so good rates or the transaction fails on a whole level. But here, the agent can see on each step how each is being done and what the next step should be done. It can the relayer can locally simulate it and see whether this would be viable in the real world.
Oh,
So hi, this is the demo of recent Bioeconomy's ERC8211 smart batching. As you can see, I have entered a arbitrary amount of ETH. Let me correct my wallet first. After connecting my wallet, you can see I can enter the amount of ETH. I can set how much leverage I need to do. So what we are doing right over here is, okay, we can copy and send some funds to this address, but I'll just show you what it does. So here we are using Ethereum to stake and leverage for maximum returns. After selecting leverage, and it has showed me the liquidation price. Here you can see 24 on-chain steps has been batched into one single signature. All these steps will happen within one button if I just press execute. That's the beauty of ERC8211 over here. That's it.
the second news that we have is 21 crypto projects has been shut down within weeks, so revealing clear patterns behind failure in today's market. So what is the main pattern behind these failures?
So we can separate them into clusters like genres of apps, and we will discuss them each one by one. So
Okay.
first thing, what we can see is liquidity and adoption failures. Like there are DEX projects and swap projects like Zero Lend, Shape Protocol, Polynomial Fi. These projects are shutting down because due to lack of liquidity and lack of user volume. Even Polynomial quoted that the old playbook like build great tech, users will come does not work. Like what you actually need is liquidity. Like liquidity can compound, but features don't. In derivatives markets, liquidity is the only mode. You can have various kind of features where you give ahead of time execution levels and very complex strategies. But if there is no liquidity to bridge and to make the swap or to execute your strategies, nothing would work.
So Polynomial had a strong tech, right? So why does their liquidity still win? And is there any specific derivatives for the same?
Polynomial had serious tech, but as I said, their liquidity did not flourish as much as user needed. And what we can derive from this for other clusters are, there were also cost versus revenue collapse in other projects. Like you can see Dmail and Data Haven. Dmail was a well-known project in ICP protocol where they were building the next decentralized Gmail, like where every mail is on-chain, data is being stored in data oracles and etc. But the thing is, what happened is people are already very comfortable with their own workflows. Like let's take Microsoft Outlook, Gmail, Yahoo. So people were not willing to leave their original mail clients to use this, and even privacy focused users use mails like Proton Mail, Thunderbird, etc. So that was one thing. And for cluster 3, if you see, there was market also like crypto markets are always changing. That's also one thing. A problem now can get solved within 2 weeks, but building the product takes months. So if you want to make a successful product, you need at least 6 months and so much capital. But for what you are solving, if people moved on to the next project, or if it's got solved already by someone else, then you lose the product market fit. That that's how Angel Protocol, Tally, even we talk about Tally, right? Governance DAO protocol which got shut down. It's like they had such a huge product, but people were not like, apart from the major 3-4 big players, there was not hundreds and hundreds of protocols using them. So they also got shut down.
Hmm. So some projects pivoted and not saved. So where is the real line between the pivot and this shutdown?
That's a good question. So if we talk about pivots, we have so many examples like where there is Magic Eden wallet. Like they are an NFT marketplace, but they shut down their Ethereum NFT marketplaces just to focus on wallets. Even 2 months before we saw Forecaster, instead of, they did not shut down, but they changed from socials to wallets. So technically speaking, this can't be told as shutdowns because the team still is there. They are still willing to work on something. And I feel pivots are really good than shutdowns because then it means that teams are actively looking for solving active problems or not, and are not behind old problems or any problem which is not there in current. So that's a good sign.
Okay. So what does it actually take to survive this bear market today?
This question, I guess the best example can be given as Mega Eat, because they were such a huge project, they had such a huge support, but still they don't have a token release yet. And that strategy works for everyone is what I feel. In a bear market, the best thing which you can do is don't launch any token of your side. Build products, keep your community engaged, and when the bull market comes again, like even if it takes 3-4 years, launch your token at those times. But till then, you have to reduce your spending, you have to extend your runway as much as possible.
The final cover-up that we have today is Anthropic's Mythos project demonstrates how AI can rapidly discover vulnerabilities, raising critical concerns for global infrastructure, including blockchain system. So what exactly is Mythos and why wasn't it released publicly?
So let's see, like Mythos is the latest flagship model from Anthropic team, and you can see they are reigning the market. Like the already flagship model Opus 4.6 was itself such a good model for all creative code writing and every other daily task which humans do. And what Anthropic team revealed about Mythos is, now it's so good that it can find bugs and vulnerabilities in softwares which a normal human team has not done yet, or it would take weeks and weeks to do. For example, like it found a bug in 27-year-old OS called OpenBSD, which is like one of the most secure OS ever built by humans, and still it found a bug. And what they are also saying is, with expenditure ranging from $50 to $2,000, you can just get bugs in every engineering software out there in the world. And they fear that if it falls in wrong hands, there will be hacks left, right, and center. So to avoid this, they have launched a project called Glasswing, where they have partnered with 7 major brands like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, and etc. And they have put across $100 million worth of credits so that these companies can use Mythos now, get the vulnerabilities and fix them.
Okay.
So what we are saying is, in this major 7, there is no crypto companies, and crypto projects already handle like $1 million worth of money. So what is Ethereum Foundation is doing? That's what we are discussing in this segment.
So should Ethereum also be a part of this Glasswing, and what would that collaboration look like? What do you think?
Yeah. So what I feel is, Ethereum Foundation's name is not in the project Glasswing, but the team, their security team is already in touch with Anthropic is what I feel. And how this may look is, Ethereum as a decentralized solution has multiple layers similar to OS. There is smart contract layers, there is EVM opcode, there is a core client, there is pre-compiles, P2P networking layer. So Ethereum consists of 5 to 6 layers, which has been developed in past 12 to 13 years. And a bug can be found anywhere in the system. So Ethereum finding those and putting a fix as soon as possible would be much better, and that's how it would also look.
Hmm. So if a critical bug is found, and how do these teams decide between patch, fork, and emergency action?
Yeah. So Web3 has a disadvantage in a sense, like smart contracts are not being published in a central server. So you can't push bug fixes in a very easy manner. So in a decentralized system, bug fixes can be done by 3-4 methods, like patching, where it's a very minor bug and just changing the core code works. There is soft fork and hard fork. Soft fork and hard fork means like you are taking the current blockchain and you are splitting it into two ways, where the new blockchain is the latest one and the old blockchain is being purged. For soft forks and hard forks to be done, it needs major participants from all the node operators. Not just Ethereum can fix it. In an event where hard fork happens, 50% plus validators should vote that we agree these fixes and they should run those clients. So hard forks in blockchain takes a week, you can say. It takes at least 1 to 2 weeks to clear all those bugs. And there can also be like hard forks apply for L2s. L1s. And if you are an L2 project or if you are an app chain project, what you can do is mostly they have admin access or a validator set of 2 to 3 people only. So those guys can easily coordinate within themselves and can fix those loopholes which are there in their contracts.
So this AI auditing is very much essential, or is that an optional one?
It's very much essential. As we said, it's finding bugs which human teams have not done yet. So it's a must have in today's era where flagship LLM models are being launched every day.
So from this week, we can conclude that execution is adapting to real-world uncertainty while markets enforce discipline, and AI is reshaping how vulnerabilities are discovered and managed. So the future of the crypto depends on the systems that can adapt, endure, and survive. So from this, we are wrapping up this week, and don't forget to like, share, and comment your thoughts on the comment section, and subscribe to CoinDairy's Block Talk podcast for crypto updates. Bye.